Hello and welcome to Rule 3's video review for Xenoblade Chronicles X, a RPG for the Nintendo Wii U. So this is the next game in the Xeno series. It's made by the same people, but has nothing really to do with any of the others, like most of the other Xeno games. Other than Xeno Saga 1, 2, 3, and yeah. Obviously those ones are connected. But anyway, this is the spiritual successor to Xenoblade Chronicles. So it has really nothing to do with the original Xenoblade, but it's just kind of a spiritual successor, as it has a lot in common in terms of gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. But anyway, this is probably one of the games I was looking forward to the most this year, just because of how beautiful the trailers looked, and I've been wanting a good, open world RPG other than Fallout, but a kind of a different type, and it's in the Xeno Saga or Xeno from the guys who did Xenoblade and Xeno Saga and Xenogears, and I liked it, so I was really excited for this one. So yeah, let's get into the review.
2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning.
So the story of Xenoblade Chronicles X takes place in the year 2054. Two alien races decide to have a fun little battle over Earth. This causes the Earth to explode. However, before the Earth explodes, humanity was able to get off these kind of seed ships called the Arks and get into deep space. However, not a lot made it, and this is the tale of just one of them that actually made it through the alien onslaught. The White Whale is the name of the ship, and eventually, it's traveling through space, and then it meets up with one of the alien races that destroyed Earth. It attacks the ship, but is able to crash land on the planet Mira, which they happen to be near at the time. From there on, you wake up from your stasis, and it's up to you to not only protect the city of New LA from the inhabitants, but you also need to explore, find other survivors, and try to find a way to live on Mira, as this is going to be their new home, since they have no way of leaving. Overall, the story is okay, not as strong as past Xeno games, but it's partly due to the fact that this game is more heavily on the exploration aspect of kind of the story. It's more or less just kind of exploring this new frontier. So the main story takes a little bit of a hit. It's still good, in my opinion, but it's a little weaker than, Xenoblade Chronicles or any of the Xeno games. It's probably the weakest in the series, but that's because it focuses on something different. But it's still a fun story, and it's cool wandering this world.
Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the Arks never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale.
Okay, so I could spend like an hour on gameplay, because this is one of the most complicated gameplay games in a while. At least for JRPG. Okay, so if you played Xenoblade, it's very similar. Xenoblade Chronicles, at least the combat. And we're going to start with combat before anything. So combat is basically kind of a turn-based real-time mix. It kind of reminds me of ATB a little bit. You're going to be auto-attacking every now and then, depending on what weapon you have. You can use different types of weapons, but we'll get into that later. At the bottom is a little action bar. It's all your skills that you can use, and they have cooldowns. Once again, it's all debating on what weapons and things you're using, and they're usually far back. You have to be close for some, far for some, and stuff like that. You use these and just kill monsters. Usually you only take about 1 or 2 monsters at a time, because they're hard and take a little bit to go down. But it's a little fast-paced. It's very. I like this system just because you can move around, but it's still like auto-locked. So even if it's not like if you dodge the attack, you're gonna dodge it. You still get hit, kind of deal. It's same with your skills. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that does matter is your positioning. Depending on if you're behind, above, below, in front, to the side, it's going to increase damage or decrease damage or stuff like that. which puts a little bit more of a tactical spin to the combat, as well as being able to target different body parts. Depending on when you're standing, and different target body parts sometimes reveal different weaknesses, or are you can exploit, or things you don't want to attack. It's really cool, and I really enjoy just the flow of combat, the moving around and trying to kind of bounce back and forth, aggro between characters, and a lot of that it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed the battle system. The other systems. So next we're going to get into kind of the city systems, and kind of, well, not city systems, but kind of class and roles and all that. So you have different classes you can be depending on what kind of weapons you want. Like, for example, I went heavy blades and assault rifles, and eventually went shield as kind of more of a tank kind of deal, and that's for more multiplayer. Otherwise I go heavy sword, assault rifle all the way. But I get into multiplayer a little bit. So anyway, and there's a bunch of these. There's usually, the ones are usually more, I chose more of the heavy hitter tree. There's, dual blades, dual guns, more of a support role. And each one of these has different skills and unlocks that you can use depending on weapons. So it's important to kind of play around and figure out which one best fits your play style. And you can change it anytime, at least for what you have unlocked. In order to unlock further parts of different class trees, you have to get so many. You have to have spend so much time in that and get high enough skill level in that to unlock the next set. And obviously, you start off as a basic, and then there's like advanced, and then there's simple class and base class, and then kind of an advanced class kind of deal. And not only that, but at some point, you're also going to have to choose not a division. One of the parts or jobs in the city that you want to do. And there are, I believe, 8. And they focus on different things. There's, go kill monster ones, go explore ones, go find rare materials, go fight like these ridiculously big things. What else? Crafting, mining, and stuff like that. Depending on which one you choose, depends on what you kind of want to focus on. And if you do these things, you get kind of super items, or not super items, but you get like packages and things that have stuff for you. You can change it any time also with these, and you can even go, like, even if you're, like, I chose for most of my playthrough, I was the R&D development team. So my job was, I went out, I tried to find stuff to make weaponry and prototypes. If I did that, the people would send me stuff. However, I also went out, I killed some of the tyrant characters, which are an enemy type that are a little harder. And that got, I didn't get anything, but I still got rep with the city and experience points. I just didn't get anything like special from that division. And you can change it any time, it doesn't really matter. So you just pick what you want to do for the time being, and then you just go and do that stuff. The game is based in a quest-based system. There is the central hub, to where you can go to kind of a billboard and choose what jobs you want, and then you go do them. Citizens in town also have quests that you can do. There is a day and night cycle, which actually affect what monsters and things are out, as well as your accuracy. If it's dark, you can't see as well, so therefore you don't shoot as well. If it's daytime, you have better accuracy. If it's cloudy or bad weather, you might have a little harder time running around and stuff. So weather and time of day do affect things. What else? You also get a mech at some point, which allows you to take on bigger monsters and is awesome looking. They're called Skells. They're awesome. They allow you to fly and traverse water and get obviously more into other areas, and eventually transform into other vehicles. Like mine was a motorcycle. It was awesome. It's, like I said, I like Skells. They're really cool, and that's one of the other reasons I was really attracted to this game. In order to do other things, you have to do what's called planting probes. These allow you to mine the area for special currency. That's the word I'm looking for. Allowing you to basically help your division and other things, as well as find rarer materials and get more money, so you can buy more gear. The Wii U gamepad allows you to kind of do that on the fly. You can fast travel with the Wii U gamepad, and as much as like the Wii U pad for things like this, I kind of wish I didn't have to have it near me, because I still prefer the Pro controller. but it's the only way to change like what mining nodes, like if you want a research node, a mining node, just a scanning node, so you can see kind of what monsters are in the area. And that's really, like I said, that's all the basics. I could go into a bunch of sub mechanic systems, but I'm not. The only other thing that I want that you can do is multiplayer. You can hook up with other people to take on harder missions. Lizzie and I did this. It was awesome. Yay. That's all I have to say about that is yay. It was a fun experience. I did play around with some randoms, and it worked well. It's definitely a lot easier than playing with CPs, especially because then you can have more of the specialized characters. Like I said, I'm a tank, so I just try to hold aggro, while usually the dual blades or heavy blades try to find the weaknesses, exploit them, and stuff like that, and support just make sure that I don't die and that the enemy doesn't hit me hard. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and like I said, just the map itself is ridiculously big. I mean, the map is huge. It's, I think, almost maybe bigger than Fallout 4's in some extent. I'm not sure the size, but I mean, it was huge. I've only really scratched the surface of this game too, just to let you know. Just because the map, like I said, there's like 6 different areas, and they're all just they're just big. I'm just gonna say that. But other than that, like the game itself plays really well and is really fun.
The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived.
Xenoblade Chronicles X is a different type of JRPG. I think it will appeal more to people wanting more of open world JRPG, as well as more of kind of an MMO experience, which is what this game feels more like as an MMO, especially with the size of the world and how grindy it ends up being. I'm giving Xenoblade Chronicles X a buy rating. It is awesome. Like I said, the only real complaint I have was the story is a little weaker for JRPG, but the amount of stuff you can do and just I think the speed of combat and everything just works really well. And it's fun beating up giant monsters and mechs. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, there's only a few downsides, like I said, other than the story's a little weaker and it does get very grindy. But those are the things that I kind of expected from a JRPG in general, especially an open world JRPG, was kind of a grind. And I'm kind of glad it came off as an MMO, a single player MMO for the most part. So yeah, so that's it. So bye. Yeah, that's it. That is the last review we are going to do for the year. Next thing we're going to do is our Game Award show, which should be me, Lizzie, and Sinister choosing our games from a couple different categories and just talking about kind of our highlights of the year, as well as other things. And then that should be up next week. And then I'm going to take a break for Christmas and New Year's, and then I'll be back after New Year's with kind of a special announcement kind of deal of how the site's going to work from now on, because I'm changing some of the core things, and most people, honestly, it's going to be kind of disappointing for most, but it's just something I have to do. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to check out ruler3.com for all the reviews and posts that we do, which really is just Friday, Saturday sometimes. It's always Saturday, but sometimes Friday, every now and then Sunday. I'm trying to stay away from weekdays. I just don't have time weekdays anymore to post. But yeah, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, like us, all that stuff. And until next time, always remember to trust in the rule of 3.